Hello, this is Wmpyr. For today's video, I'm going to be working with the knife, and please, I will be using a life blade, but make sure that you guys do not use a life blade. Make sure that you use a training knife. Okay, so for today's lesson, the technique comes from, of course, once again, the stick. It always comes from the stick, and it is what I call the fan motion, as you can see. This motion right here. So we're going to be applying that technique, which this is a great warm-up exercise at the very least. Of course, this technique can be used for combat, self-defense, but just doing this alone can help strengthen your wrist. So make sure you do a ton of those. And now we're going to be applying that to the knife. And I'm going to go ahead and hold the knife in the reverse grip, okay? So first things first, I talked to you guys about closed and open. So that's what we're going to be applying also, is basic movements with the stick come down to two movements, and that is closed and open. And the way we're going to do this here is you're going to be applying this, the fan motion that you just saw, which is basically just turning your wrist like this, okay, and close together. So this is what it looks like. Boom, right here. I'm closing my arms, which is, it's like I'm coming in to grab somebody. And that's exactly the way you should be thinking about this technique, is boom, like that. You're coming in, and then that is where you turn the blade and you snap in, okay? And yes, it's not a power move, okay? You do this kind of thing with power, and what people end up doing is they go in real deep and you put in so much torque that you could hurt your fingers or disarm yourself, okay? And you don't have to take my word for it. All you have to do is try it on a real target, not a real person, but create targets, simulate, put leather on there, put meat on there, put all kinds of stuff to where it simulates a person, and try it, and you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? So this is not for going super hard in like that. You can, but then you don't need this. You don't need this kind of snap, all right? This obviously is for speed. You can see, boom, that's how fast. It's super fast. Boom, right here. And this, it's like a quick dig in, quick peck or poke, and this, by doing that with this motion, is the most efficient way for this to cause damage, okay? But if you're coming in real strong and you're adding the twist and stuff, once again, you're trying to do too much, and it could be counterproductive in that sense. So if you treat this as a quick speed move, boom, like this, okay, then I believe that is where it shines. Now from there, you're already close. Obviously, if you're close enough to do this, you're close in with the opponent. So then from there, you can now start to go in power if necessary. But once again, I'm advising self-defense. So at this point, we want to get into movements where we're creating distance to get away. And, one of the things that Professor Brian Frank says that I completely agree with is he says you want to win all your battles, which means you want to survive the self-defense situation, but you also want to win the court situation, the legal situation that you are going to be facing later as well. So that's super, super important because we are the good guys. We have to behave like good guys, okay? Not to say that we cannot defend ourselves. So boom, right here. Quick motion here. Now, that is this, you're turning the fan this way. So what about the other way, okay? And of course, if you can go this way, you can go this way as well. You could go the other direction. And the other direction, as you can see, now opens my arms right here. So now this is the open motion, as you guys can see, boom, right here. I open my arms out, and I'm adding the fan motion. Once again, this is more like for speed picking type of motion, and boom, right here, and I can get out, okay? The thing about this to realize is that We don't want to be adding weird angles with the wrist that could compromise your grip and stuff. Grip is always super important. We want a solid grip as much as possible. So when we add this snap to it that comes from the fan motion, and we come here, the angle that I'm coming in here is created by, this is a right angle that the blade and my wrist is making. And so my body has to adjust for it. It's not that my wrist and my arm adjust. No, my body adjusts. I create the proper angle to where I am hitting the target. Okay, so in order to do that, you are going to have to, right here. So if it's straight in and I just bring my arm straight out and I do this, you can see I'm hitting over here. So what I mean by adjusting is you got to change the angle to where now, boom, right here. And it's very natural that you're going to want to do this. Don't do this, because then if it does make contact, now it's going to come out even more like this, and you're already now compromising your grip there. So keep that in mind. That's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.